Yeah, it's been the year of the Terps. Maryland wins a Big Ten championship for the 4th time in 5 years, which is why Brenda Frese was the consensus coach of the year for both the media and the coaches. There were some other good candidates, Kevin McGuff, C. Vivian Stringer, sort of exceeding expectations with their team, and Lisa Bluter maintaining expectations. And speaking of maintaining expectations, that's why we bring in Brenda Frese, because you did exactly that. You were the favorites to win the Big Ten championship, and if I look closely, it looks like you brought a little friend there.
We love this hardware, and what a journey it's been. I mean, when you talk about 18 conference games, and I'm just so proud of obviously this team and our staff and support staff with all of the hard work that goes on behind the scenes, and especially when you talk about one senior on the roster starting 2 freshmen. A special journey that we've been on all season.
Well, I talked about kind of the argument, and you get into it every year with Coach of the Year in terms of who's the coach who exceeded expectations, who's the coach that sort of maintained those expectations. You maintain year in and year out. What is the key to doing that for your program?
I think for us, it's just, continuing to put our head down and go to work. And, I think that's the thing I'm probably most proud of is the consistency factor is really hard to do. I mean, obviously, if it was easy, you would see everyone being able to do it. So, for us, just putting our head down and just trying to get better every single day.
There were 2 losses during the conference season where some people were kind of questioning, including myself, can Maryland maintain that and sustain those losses? So the first one was against Rutgers, and then the second one was against Michigan State. I'm curious how your team grew after both of those losses.
I think defining moments in our season. I think every coach, you can pinpoint at different points where your season is going to turn. And, especially for us to take, the second game of conference play in an 18 conference schedule to lose. I thought it spoke volumes of the character of this team, which direction they were going to go. Same thing with Michigan State. Michigan State, taught us a strong lesson of the preparation it takes to go on the road and be able to win against a really good team. So just proud of the fight and the resiliency, obviously, to stay the course and continue to keep trying to get better.
Well, Brenda Frese, now a 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, going back to 2002 at Minnesota, 2015 at Maryland, and again now in 2019. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
And Ae'Rianna, Defensive Player of the Year is something that's voted on just by the coaches, showing the respect that you have around the league, not just this year, but last year as well. And yeah, you're defending your title. So what makes this year's Defensive Player of the Year award special to you?
It's kind of like the same as last year, except for this time I did it on 2 feet. And kind of still feels as if I'm taking care of business and doing what I need to for my team.
Well, you mentioned taking care of business. You and I spoke before the season, and this was a goal of yours. You said that you wanted to win Defensive Player of the Year this year and next year. Why is this award so important to you?
Defense is it's a hustle type thing. Like, you choose to play defense. You choose to do the little things. This is the type of thing you just go after. You have to go after if you want it. Offense sometimes comes natural to people. Shots go in, shots may not go in, but defense ultimately is a choice that you make.
Well, I tell you what, whether you've chosen it or not, you are one of the best shot blockers in the country. You're also leading your team in rebounds. But about those blocks, explain to me the art of a good block, because as someone who is one of the best to do it in the country, like if you had to teach me, what's the art behind it?
It's literally timing. Like, if you get really good timing with blocks, it's easier to prevent fouls, and the better the timing, the better the block. So, like, for some blocks, if they're coming from the weak side and you don't just go run them over, you most likely will throw the ball very, very far versus maybe a post-up turnaround that you get your hands on intentionally or unintentionally.
Well, I feel like besides the timing for you, something that else is very strong in your game is your toughness. You're mentally, physically tough. Why does that translate to good defense?
It has to throughout the entire game. If you're not mentally tough, then you already took yourself out of the game, whether it's on offense or defense. And then just being physically tough. I mean, this is a big girls' game, so you have to be.
And finally, you mentioned that you win the award this year on 2 feet. Besides maybe just being healthy this year, how did you elevate your game?
Put in the work. It's what you do behind the scenes that make the difference on the court in front of everybody. And as long as you're not changing what you're doing, once the lights are on and the crowd is big, then you just improve, get better.
Well, Ae'Rianna, we enjoy watching you. Thank you so much for the time today, and congratulations on your 2nd Defensive Player of the Year award.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You've seen her in the highlights. I just told you about her numbers, and now Freshman of the Year is voted on by the media, and 6th Player of the Year, Naz Hillmon, joins me now. Naz, congratulations on your award. I have to know, how did you react when you got this news?
Well, first off, thank you. I was very excited when I got this news. I wasn't expecting it, if I'm going to be honest. I've just been really focusing on the games in front of us in the Big Ten tournament. So the personal accolades I wasn't too focused on, but when I did get the news, I was very excited.
Yeah, I have to imagine, you know, this year, for a freshman year for you, okay? So you come in, the game is probably faster, the women are probably stronger, but how did you make such a smooth transition going from high school to college?
The game is definitely faster and bodies are definitely bigger, but my coaches put me in situations so that I could be prepared for this. As soon as I came on campus, they wanted me in the weight room, they wanted me in all the drills and really trying to figure out the system, and my teammates have been very helpful, especially the seniors. They have a lot of experience, so they've helped me along this journey, and I couldn't have done it without them.
What's the biggest adjustment you've had to make to your game while at Michigan?
Definitely having to figure out how to get around bigger bodies. In high school, I was probably the biggest, and then in AAU, I wasn't the biggest, but it's a lot different now, being in the Big Ten where the bodies are a lot bigger. So finding a variety of moves so that I can get around the bigger bodies in the conference was definitely my biggest transition.
You're just the 2nd player in school history to win Big Ten Freshman of the Year. I know this is still fresh to you, but what does it mean when I tell you that?
That's an amazing accomplishment. I know there's a lot of great women who've gone through this program, so being up there with some of the greats is just amazing. I definitely want to leave my impact on this organization, and that's just an honor to even hear that.
And I'm also told that you have the nickname Nazilla. Now, how did that come about on your team?
So one of our coaches, Coach Sanchez, started calling me Nazilla because of Godzilla, the character, and she just said, "You beast like him," and only thing that's different is that you don't shoot fire. So she started to call me that, and people picked it up, the fans picked it up, so it's sticking a little bit.
And you approve of this nickname? You like it? This will stick now?
It definitely will stick whether I like it or not.
Okay, well, Naz, or Nazilla, thank you so much for the time and congratulations on winning this award.
Thank you very much.
So winning Player of the Year was probably not a surprise to any of us, and maybe not Megan Gustafson, but maybe the reception that she got from her teammates, which you saw just there, was a surprise. Megan, what was that like to be celebrated by your team like that?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to be surrounded by such amazing people who support me all throughout, you know, my 4 years here at Iowa, and I couldn't be more thankful and blessed to be able to be surrounded by these people day in and day out.
The numbers you put up this year are staggering. No one in NCAA history has averaged 27 points per game, averaged 13 rebounds per game, and shot 70%. Was there any point, because so many people made so much about your numbers, was there any point that you felt the pressure of putting up those numbers this year?
You know, thinking about it, no. I mean, honestly, I think, you know, my teammates and my coaches did such a nice job of just supporting me and, you know, telling me that you just got to keep being myself day in and day out. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about outside pressure or anything like that. Just play with that passion and just having fun with them every single day. And honestly, they made it so much easier, for sure. That's what I'd have to say.
So at some point, Megan Gustafson was a freshman and none of this had happened. And at some point, you're walking onto Iowa's campus here for the first time as a rookie. Finish this sentence for me. When you walked into Carver Hawkeye Arena, kind of for the first time, knowing you were going to play there for 4 years, I just hope I could do blank.
Mm-hmm. You know, filling in that's something that, you know, thinking back as a freshman, I would definitely just say, just working as hard as I possibly can to see what happens. Honestly, I didn't have too many expectations in terms of, you know, playing time or awards or anything like that. I just wanted to have the best experience with my teammates in terms of, you know, working as hard as I possibly can every single day and just kind of seeing what happened from there.
Well, you now have won a Player of the Year honor last year and this year. You're actually only 9 other players in the history of Big Ten women's basketball has done that. I mean, you put your name up against Jantel Lavender and Kelsey Mitchell, Kelly Mazzanti, Maggie Lucas, just to name a few. Who did you watch among some of the Big Ten's best when you were growing up?
Yeah, you know, obviously Kelsey Mitchell was, you know, playing while I was playing, and so, you know, seeing her name, you know, among there is pretty amazing. And, you know, I've heard Jantel Lavender's name lately, especially because I've been, you know, breaking some of her records. But there's been some amazing athletes, you know, in the Big Ten, and I couldn't be prouder to be from this conference and being able to play in one of the toughest conferences in America. That's for sure. And
from Port Wing, Wisconsin, a very small population, Jolene Anderson from Wisconsin also won Player of the Year. Is there space in the town for 3 Player of the Year trophies up there?
I don't know. You know, it's pretty amazing to think about my small school and to be able to produce the talent that it has. It's pretty incredible to think about, and you know, our whole entire town is very excited for us, and I couldn't be more thankful for them.
We're thankful that you gave us something to watch and continue to do so here in the conference. Megan, thank you and congrats.
Thank you.
We bring in Taylor Mikesell. Taylor, how much were you expecting this?
I mean, coming in here with freshman year, you obviously have expectations to be really successful, but I mean, coming in as a competitor, you just want to play as much as you can and leave an impact on your team and help win it as much as you can. I think coming here, I wasn't expecting to win it, but just doing whatever my team needed me, honestly, to help us win.
All right, so the big thing about freshmen is making that transition from the high school level to the college level. How were you able to do that this year?
It wasn't too bad. I think the biggest adjustment was getting into Big Ten play. I think non-conference is, obviously you don't see teams as big as it's physical, so I think that was probably the biggest adjustment for me. But I got used to it pretty quickly. My teammates helped me out a lot. My coaching staff was always supportive of me and just telling me to keep doing what I'm doing, and it's going to work.
And with all rookies, you got to have kind of the freshman moment, kind of the welcome to the Big Ten moment. When was that for you? I
think probably the Ohio State game. That's when I started seeing more of a triangle and 2, and I think I was like, okay, this is for real. I think that was probably my biggest welcome to the league type of moment.
Well, congrats, Taylor, and thanks for the time.